What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 90 of the Silver and Gold podcast. I'm Josh,
And I'm Mike.
and today we've got kind of a depressing episode, if you consider the way that the week went for both of our teams. But I think, the common theme is as depressing as it is for Raider fans, Mike over here is pretty happy that they're continuing to lose and continuing to improve their draft stock. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the 49ers are over here. When we lose, we are hurting our playoff position and are probably not going to be the favorite to win the West. I mean, let's be honest. This team is an IR squad right now, and we're completely decimated. So we weren't the favorite to win the West, but it's definitely been a trip that we've been winning so many games. But I mean, the expectations have kind of flip flopped every week. Let's go ahead and talk about the 49ers versus Rams game. The 49ers lost 42-26 at home at Levi's. And very early on in this game, it looked like it was going to be a blowout. But the 49ers battled to bring it, within one score in the third quarter. And then the Rams just ran away with it. And Mike, I just want to ask you, how should 49er fans be feeling about this game right now? From an outside perspective.
Well, obviously, you guys lost by a pretty solid margin, but I really think the way that I would come away from that game as a Niner fan would be to realize that, y- okay, my perspective was always the Rams are the best team in this division this season. Um, and, losing that way to them kind of reaffirms that. But oddly, the team that you guys didn't play is another aspect to the way that I would feel, which were the Seahawks. And I guess this game paired with the way that the Seahawks played against the Cardinals, which it's the Cardinals, but still, like the Seahawks are kind of on a heater with Darnold and JSN. Um, the way that I would feel is the Niners are the inferior team in the division, not named the Cardinals. Like you are currently the third best team in the division, yet you still have very good playoff hopes, but you're not there in the division. You're not going to win this division. That's the way that I would feel. Is like sort of a reality setting in of, yeah, we're not winning this division. We're going to be a wild card team at best.
Yeah. Let me tell you, like, as a fan, the way I feel was going into this game, I didn't think that we were going to win. Just being blatantly honest. Like, if you would have told me that this team beat the Rams once going into the season and that all of our superstars were decimated, gone, like, Fred Warner and Nick Bosa, that's like, if you look at how much money they pour into the defense, what percentage of the cap just goes straight to Fred Warner and Nick Bosa? Obviously Diamador Lenore has a big contract too, but like I would say that is pretty much the defense right there, at least like financially in the investment wise. And then they have a bunch of young players that I mean, they had Mike Williams go down the other week. There's just been this year, I think from the beginning has always been a, you know, this is going to be a stepping stone towards the next core. And I just find it funny that you know, when we think about the next core of the 49ers, we have to think about like a time where players on the team like George Kittle, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa maybe move on from the team, and it's just kind of funny that like Fred Warner and Bosa are gone. Like a lot of young players are getting an opportunity to play. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
maybe like if we weren't going to win the Super Bowl anyway, this could be chalked up as like a good thing. Obviously, it's not a good thing that like Warner and Bosa got like maybe career altering injuries, but like just from a development of young players getting play time, getting NFL speed playing time, and experience, that could be one thing. But, I do want to talk about things that we learned from this game in particular. I think we learned a few things. One of which is that the 49er corners this year will just continue to struggle against premier wide receivers. Whatever Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams wanted, they got in this game. So, that was pretty tough to watch. This team probably also should not have won their first matchup against the Rams. The 49ers lost the turnover battle in this game, where the Rams lost the turnover battle the first time, like the first go around. So I think like the 49ers also had to punch out the football from Kyron Williams with the game on the line last time. And this time Kyron was able to rush for 2 rushing touchdowns. So really, like, you kind of take that into account. That was really the difference, I think, in the game the first time. And then we saw when the Rams protect the football, how the outcome probably should have went. We also learned that Brian Robinson Jr. he's a strong runner in between the tackles. Like, I thought that he played very well in this game, and I really do enjoy. Even though I have McCaffrey in fantasy, I think it's a good thing for McCaffrey's like long-term stability to just stay on the field if he's not just getting run into the ground every single game and getting 30 touches, because that's not sustainable for anybody in the NFL, especially a 29-year-old running back. And, lastly, I think this 49ers team is probably not going to contend, to win the division. I think they'll likely be a wild card team if they continue to win games, and if they make the playoffs. So, yeah, that's pretty much like the lessons that I gathered from this game. Like I said, I didn't expect them to beat the Rams. So I know it's a divisional game, anything can happen. And it looked like they were going to come back at some point in the third quarter, but, they missed some opportunities. Also, I see, Luis is tuning in. He says, big fan, man. Hey, we're a big fan of you, Luis. How about that? Welcome in. I appreciate you catching us live. But, I do want to run through players that did play well in this game. I think on defense, when you get 42 points put up on you, there's not a lot of players that play well. But I'm going to go ahead and start on offense for that reason. Mac Jones played a hell of a game. Mike, do you want to know Mac Jones's final stats in this game, or did you watch it?
I did not get to see this game.
What if I told you that Mac Jones completed 85% of his passes?
I believe it.
Yeah, Mac Jones had 33 completions on 39 attempts for 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. The interception was pretty late in the game. They're trying to come back and win from being down so much. It's like, it's going to happen. It's not like, oh my God, the game was on the line. Like we need to have this and we're going to win. Like, it was just, all right, we got to do something. And something was done, and an interception was thrown, right? Brian Robinson Jr., like I said, he had a good game. 8 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. Pretty efficient, 5.1 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey was not very efficient on the ground. He had 12 carries for 30 yards. And then there was that play on 4th and 1 where, he just couldn't beat the defender to the outside, and we turned the ball over on downs, pretty early on. George Kittle had a very nice game. He had 9 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. Jennings had a pretty good game, 6 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown. McCaffrey through the air. Mike, is McCaffrey at this point just like a really good slot receiver? Like, is he just... Is that his new role?
I've always felt that you could stick him in the slot and he would succeed. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think many running backs can do that.
Yeah. And then there was a catch by Kendrick Bourne, a catch by Sky Moore, like long catches. And Demarcus Robinson had 3 catches for 34 yards. Really, I mean, that's kind of it in terms of like big impact players. But yeah, Kittle, Jennings, Robinson Jr., McCaffrey through the air, and Mac Jones. Those were your playmakers. So I guess I mean I don't want to go over the Ram stuff. Stafford had 280 yards, 4 touchdowns. Kyron, like I mentioned, had the 2 touchdowns. Blake Corum was even efficient. He was efficient as well. It was just not a good day for the 49ers defense. And like, especially there was a play where I forget if it might have been 4th and goal or a 2-point conversion or something where Devonte Adams caught it. And I just remember seeing Malik Mustafa lined up like 5 yards off of Devonte Adams, and I go, well, they can just zip in. Like Devonte can get whatever the hell he wants right now. If he wants to run a slant, he's gonna get it. If he wants, a fade, he's gonna get it, right? So they ended up going with, I think I don't know exactly how you would classify the route. I guess an out route, to the not the back of the end zone. It was like the middle of the end zone, but yeah, Devontae
Hmm.
got it with ease. And I was just thinking like, man, Devontae's got so much space. Like personally, I would have Mustafa on him, and just make him shed you, which I guess Devontae is really good at that, but on like the 1 or 2 yard line, like Stafford has the arm to throw the bullet in there.
Yeah, I think this year Devontae has been excelling on goal line, like 1 yard touchdowns. Not
He's
even specifically fades, but just 1 yard touchdowns from Stafford. And
Doesn't
the
he have the
thing that
most touchdowns?
Devontae probably, I mean, he's had multiple games with like multiple 1 yard touchdowns. I know he had one game where he had three. The reason I know that is because I faced him in fantasy that game. Um,
Mm,
in multiple leagues, by the way, the same week. But um, on top of that, he has always been an elite separator. You know, immediately breaking into the route, um, or out of his first break, however you want to term it.
yeah,
And although he's not the same as he used to be, um, he's still great, and he's still a great separator.
I think the Rams could go on to win the Super Bowl. It wouldn't
Oh,
shock me
absolutely.
because I really feel like that move that they made for to get Devonte Adams in the offseason. I think that's a move that you look back and you say, man, they already had Puka Nakua, and then they just essentially multiplied him, and now they've got like a dynamic offense.
Yeah, they upgraded from Cup to Devontae.
Yep.
They went from a guy that, you know, at one point was kind of the best receiver in football to some degree, at least statistically, right? Uh, to he became more of an injury prone sort of guy in Cooper Cup, unfortunately. And now you're getting like one of the most reliable receivers in football. That's a huge upgrade.
Yep. And then people
Um,
were calling Devonte washed. I never thought that he was washed. I think it was. I mean, the he didn't have good quarterback play on the Raiders, and then also the Jets were the Jets, and he was pretty good with the Jets.
well, yeah, with Aaron Rodgers, like he was still putting up solid numbers, and with Garrett Wilson, you know,
Yeah.
and he can do the same here with the Rams. But this is a pass heavier team with Stafford, and I think that's the other aspect of the Super Bowl hopes with them is I think if it weren't for Jonathan Taylor going absolutely nuclear week in and week out, and sort of I think right now being the MVP favorite, if you take away Jonathan Taylor, or let's just say, oh, MVP is a quarterback award, you know, so take out Jonathan Taylor, it's right now it's either Stafford or Drake May for MVP. And I don't think anybody else is close. Maybe Mahomes because they don't have a run game, but it's not like they're 8-2 or something. You know, they're kind
Mm-hmm.
of closer to 500 right now. Um, I can't really think of anybody else.
I think as of right now, if I think as of right now, the voters would definitely take Stafford over Jonathan Taylor because they never vote running back, or at least they haven't like in recent memory. Um,
Right.
you mentioned Drake May. Uh, I don't think Josh Allen has been an MVP caliber quarterback this year. Last year for sure. Lamar was
Yeah.
injured for a couple weeks. Joe Burrow's been injured.
Chances are what's going to happen is Jonathan Taylor's going to get the Offensive Player of the Year award, and Stafford or May will get MVP. But I can still see an avenue where another guy who deserves an award gets Offensive Player of the Year, and that's Jackson Smith and Jigba. And the only way that I see that happening is if Jonathan Taylor either falls off a cliff or wins the MVP.
Mm-hmm. Man, wouldn't that be something? Remember how quick I wrote off Jackson Smith and Jigba his rookie year? Wouldn't that be something
Yeah,
if a
man.
couple like a like a month and a half from now, I get absolutely obliterated by him in the playoffs?
Well,
Wouldn't that
it's
be
just
poetic
crazy because
justice?
I guess so. Yeah, fantasy playoffs, of course, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. But well, it's also crazy because I want to say it was week one. You guys faced the Seahawks, and I think you guys won, or
Yes.
did you lose?
No,
Okay, you guys won.
we
That's what I
beat the
thought.
Seahawks.
Yeah, and I remember we had a conversation because I was saying like, man, Jackson Smith and Jigba was great. Um, and earlier tonight I was telling you for the second time that I had seen somebody, and I wish I knew who it was, but somebody on TikTok was like, I think they all these TikTokers always have to make these like clickbaity videos, you know,
Yeah.
like here's a guy that's gonna win you your league, and then he's like, I think Jackson Smith and Jigba has a chance to be the wide receiver one overall in fantasy, and I'm sitting there like, okay, really, like over Jamar Chase and Puka if he's healthy, and you know all these guys, right? JSN is by far the wide receiver one. I'm like, dude, why didn't I like? Why didn't I consider that more? Because I mean, in hindsight, it's not obvious, but I mean, they went from a shit offensive coordinator to a high-powered one. They upgraded at quarterback, which I think in the offseason maybe I was a little bit less, you know, willing to say that for a fact, right? Like I liked Darnold. That was the thing last year was I liked Darnold. I was backing up Darnold all season as a Viking, like saying like, dude, he's killing it this year, blah blah blah. And I would have loved if we got Darnold, obviously. With that, I wish we got Clint Kubiak, Raiders. But, you know, it went the way it went. Long story short, Jackson Smith and Jigba had the perfect opportunity because you had Lockett and DK Metcalf also leaving that roster. Anyways, that's a Jackson Smith and Jigba tangent, but just crazy.
Yeah. That I mean, Lorenzo drafted such a good team, but there was another thing that I was gonna say, um, but I'm forgetting now. Damn it! I completely lost my mind, Mike. It was gonna be something relating to fantasy. Oh, it was the people on TikTok. The people on TikTok or like those like YouTube shorts, where it's just like somebody who's doing fantasy videos like the clickbaity ones, right?
Yeah.
It always starts with like it either starts or it ends with like, all right, um, are you tired of being the laughing stock of your fantasy league? Like something like that. Like This is
Yeah.
free information right here. Like, yeah, I don't know. I always find it funny. Like, these are the guys that you should be drafting in your leagues this offseason. Like, I, I, I fucking, I find it funny how, like, a lot of them sound the same. Are you tired of being a loser?
Yeah.
I think the Niners are tired of being losers. So I guess we can flip the script, turn the page, and look forward to the 49ers versus Cardinals. Um, Mike, do you wanna go ahead and give us a prediction for this one? How do you see the game going? And yeah,
This is actually kind of a tougher prediction than you would think. Um, just because of Jacoby Brissett, I think.
really,
Um, yeah, this isn't me saying I think the Cardinals might just win. It's just I don't think it's as far off. Yeah, the Niners clearly are going to win this game as you would think it should be. The main question there is, does Brock Purdy and or Ricky Pearsall return this week?
I think they will.
Um,
I think they're both gonna
I
return.
yeah, I think that would be great for you guys. I mean, as you mentioned though, I mean Mac Jones going 85% on 39 attempts, 3 touchdowns, like I think
How do you bench them
yeah, dude.
for a
You
guy that
guys are in a tough spot.
how
Like,
do you bench somebody
oh,
who's playing so well?
yeah, and you called it all the way back to when they signed him. Like, you were on, like, very quickly, you were on the, well, if Purdy doesn't sign, Mac Jones might just beat him out anyways. And worst case scenario, Mac Jones, Brock Purdy signs the mega contract, then Mac Jones gets his opportunity immediately, and so far has played better,
Yeah,
arguably.
yeah. I
So,
said I said the
I
Niners
mean,
should have used Aaron Rodgers as leverage. I said they should have used Mac Jones as leverage. As
yeah.
hey, Brock, if somebody else is willing to give you this fat contract, go find them. Go, let us know. We're gonna we're gonna have you play out the rest of your rookie deal, and we'll pay you if you play well. But if not, we've got McCorkle over here, and McCorkle's gonna do your job for a fraction of the price. We've got him under contract.
I'm going to give you a positive and a negative right here. Okay? Like,
Okay.
just sort of outcome or whatnot. First, positive, I guess, outlook. Like, on the positive side, Mac Jones has played so good. The pressure has never been higher, other than being in the Super Bowl, on Brock Purdy right now. Like, it's year one of a huge contract. He has a lot of leeway where, what are you guys just going to cut me or trade me? Like, good luck with that. Like because of his contract, Purdy, he's not going anywhere, you know? But if I were him, I would be feeling the pressure like, I have to do better than that. I gotta put my money where my mouth is, or vice versa, you know? I gotta put my play where my money is, basically. Like, if that dude who's making what, like $5 million a year and I'm making $50 million a year, if that guy's playing better than me, the NFL is not going to let that slide for long. You know.
Yeah. I'm
On
laugh.
the negative, or go ahead, go ahead.
No, 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 no. You go ahead. You finish.
Okay. Well, just the positive is hopefully that pressure, if that pressure really is there for him, causes Purdy to play even better than Mac Jones has, and you guys actually get a very strong playoff push because of that. The
Yeah.
negative, I wouldn't call it like super negative. Like, I'm looking at it in a positive way, but it would be very negative for you guys. Is if Brock Purdy comes back and he's just never as good as Mac Jones, and at some point the Niners decide, fuck it, Mac Jones is our quarterback, we're going to trade Brock Purdy to the Saints or whatever, or the Jets. It's negative because you guys paid all that money and you just immediately, like, it goes that way. But the positive way that I look at it is like, Bravo, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, for swindling that deal. Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck, like, what are the odds that, just imagine if that happened and, like, he ends out actually, like, going to the Saints or the fucking Raiders or whatever, some shit team, and he sucks. Like, how crazy is that Mr. Relevant gets his shot, goes to the Super Bowl, almost wins it, gets paid $50 million a year, and then he sucks. Oh,
Man.
but
I was laughing because, all right, there's an inside joke between my cousin Alex and I, but um like whenever his player gets hurt, like I think it started with Darren Waller, or yeah, I think, or yeah, it was Darren Waller. Darren Waller got hurt, and Alex is like, "Yeah, Darren Waller's over here, like, ow, my hamstrings, right?" Like, you know, and then
yeah,
CeeDee Lamb got hurt, and I think he had CeeDee Lamb last year. If I no, he Jordan had CeeDee Lamb.
mm.
Uh, no, no, Alex had CeeDee Lamb. Uh, and what's it called? He hurt his shoulder, and then so like he's like, "Ow, my shoulder, my shoulder." Just like that's why Aaron Jones, I think like his nickname on Sleeper is like, "Ow, my hamstrings."
Yeah,
And so you're over here talking about, yeah, maybe Mac Jones will come in and push Brock Purdy to, you know, uh, to want to get on the field and play his best and give a playoff push. But in my head, I'm like, Brock Purdy's over here like watching Mac Jones fucking ball out, and he's like, my toe hurts, coach. And meanwhile,
or like,
Joe Burrow had like same injury, had surgery, and might even come back sooner than Brock if Brock doesn't play this week.
probably not, but
Yeah, I don't think so, because
still, the
there's like a
fact,
21-day window for Burrow, but the fact that it's comparable, the return time is crazy.
yeah,
And then
it
I'm
makes you
just
wonder
annoyed.
if,
I'm annoyed because somehow, some way, Joe Burrow ended up on your fantasy team. Like, I don't understand.
yeah,
Like, I'm at like literally, I saw you pick him up, and I go, he's not coming back, is he? And then like now it's, oh, wait a second, folks, he's coming back sooner than we all expected before the fantasy
yeah,
playoffs. So we're gonna see if he's good or not. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm having PTSD. I'm having nightmares over here of Thursday night football last year during the championship, where I'm rooting against Joe Burrow, and all they had to do was kneel the ball out, and they go for another fucking touchdown. Oh
yeah,
man,
man.
you broke something in me, Mike. Pause. Um, but yeah, going back to Brock, I do think the competition is good, and you know what? If he can't beat out Mac Jones, it's going to tell us one or two things. One, maybe Brock isn't as good as the 49ers thought, or maybe it's Mac Jones is better than everybody thought. And so I was listening to Larry Krueger and Grant while I was eating dinner today, and they were talking about how the 49ers do have an out of Brock Purdy's contract at the end of next year. And they can get
Mm,
out of that contract, and I think they would eat like 36 million in dead cap if they got rid of him,
mm,
which isn't, I mean, it's doable. Like imagine if Mac Jones just is the better quarterback. You can't let him go. You can't.
right. And
And
that the timing of that would work because then you'd be essentially giving Brock Purdy's money to Mac Jones
yeah.
and extending Mac Jones because his contract ends after next season.
Yeah, and then the 49ers are also building a young core. You can have, I guess, another year with kind of heavier dead cap money, you know? And then as
Mm.
guys retire, like Trent Williams is not going to be on this team for, you know, several years, I wouldn't imagine. Um, who knows how much longer George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk doesn't make a lot of money. Um, at least I don't think. But maybe they can get off of contracts like Brandon Ayuk in a couple years if he's not as good returning from his knee injury. What are you gonna say?
It's just weird. Like, in an alternate reality, you guys don't trade those picks to get up for Trey Lance, and you pick Mac Jones. I mean, I don't know what players would have been there in theory with those next like 2 years first round picks, but you're probably Super Bowl winners at least once.
Yeah. Now this is you know like all right.
Yeah.
I was so upset when they made the trade in the first place. Like, all right, so just imagine me, 49er fan, like, all right, fuck man, we just had a bad year, 2020, COVID, it was Super Bowl hangover, it was COVID, and Jimmy Garoppolo was injured all year. All of our team was injured. Like, we'll be fine next year. And then the 49ers just traded 3 firsts and a third. Oh, sweet. What, for the first overall pick, right? We're getting Trevor Lawrence, right? For the third pick, like, what? You're not even getting your guy? Like,
You said,
like, how the hell are you going to make that move without knowing who the fuck you're going to get?
so
And
wait, it was, oh, right. It was
there were 5
Trevor and then
quarterbacks.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kyle and John were like, yeah, we have 5 guys that we really like. Or we have at least 3 that we really like. And I'm just over here like, well, damn, either this is a huge smoke screen and they, like, I don't know, if you're gonna move 3 firsts and a third, I'm sorry, there's not gonna ever be a draft class in NFL history where I think that, like, if you move up to the third pick, you're gonna get a player that's gonna be worth 3 firsts and a third at the third pick.
Didn't you guys also like have the pick that ended up being right before uh Pat Surtain Jr.? Or am I
No.
tripping?
Well, we could have stayed at 12 and drafted Micah Parsons and had him opposite Nick
Yeah.
Bosa.
Maybe you guys were like the pick after, and like if anything, you could have just traded up a little bit and got Pat Surtain or something like it just would have been so different. Just mostly because considering like what was killing me like 5 minutes ago was just the fact that we all thought, oh, it's Mac Jones. Like the rumor was Kyle Shanahan is in love with Mac Jones, and that was probably in hindsight a smokescreen, but it also felt so fitting because of all the Kirk Cousins rumors and stuff. It was like, well, that just makes too much sense. So I was just killing myself here like, man, he really ended up on the Niners anyways, and he's killing it. Like,
Yep.
that could have been it this whole time. But also, like, Garoppolo ended up starting anyways, whether it was because of Trey Lance's injuries or whatnot. Like, you could have really just got a perennial all-pro defensive, whether it was edge defender in Micah Parsons or all-pro corner defensive player of the year in Pat Surtain. You guys are winning a Super Bowl.
I'm sorry, but really quickly, I want to quickly recap the 49ers like journey to their quarterback. Because really, I think Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they should get drug tested. Dude, like, if you really, all right, take a step back and think about it. They did not scout Patrick Mahomes when they had the number 2 overall pick. They didn't take a look at him because they
Mm.
wanted Kirk Cousins. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy work.
Yeah. They trade back because they put up a smoke screen that they liked Mitch Trubisky. So they traded back. And they didn't, they could have taken Trubisky at 2, but they traded and they picked up a 3rd round pick. And then they have an opportunity to take Mahomes again. Or was Deshaun Watson also in that draft? Or
Yeah,
was he?
I think both of them.
Okay. Could have taken Deshaun Watson right there, which he would have been good for a couple years.
Yeah. At that time, I thought Deshaun Watson was the best quarterback in that class, and I thought the Niners should have took him.
Yeah, so they draft Solomon Thomas, a defensive lineman out of Stanford, because that's really the number one. Like, before you ever think about getting a quarterback in the NFL, you really want to make sure that you have a really good defensive lineman from Stanford.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how else are you going to win?
Especially if he used to be classmates with the GM
Yep.
or something to
Okay.
that effect, right?
All right. So sin number one, not scouting Mahomes. And then later on in the year, I think. All right. Their plan A was to get Kirk Cousins, and then Kirk Cousins got extended by the Vikings or something, or
Or
he
Washington,
or Washington. No,
whatever he did.
whatever he did, I think he went to the Vikings or something along those lines. And then Shanahan was sad that they weren't. No, you know what? That was the following offseason. John Lynch decided to call New England and trade for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
Decided to send a second round pick. A second round pick for a quarterback on an expiring contract.
Wasn't that also partially the Patriots? Like, there was a whole power grab going on there between, like, Kraft, Belichick, and Brady. And I think Brady went to Kraft and was like, I don't want Garoppolo to be the guy of the future here. Like, I want to be here. And I think Belichick's guy was Garoppolo. I don't know if that's all true,
Yeah,
but
Belichick apparently wanted Jimmy. You know what? They could have just been full of shit. They could have been full of fucking shit.
they played the Niners for like a fiddle.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just want to Brady doesn't want this guy here anymore. If you guys would just please give us a second round pick, we will make your worthwhile.
Yeah, hey, 49ers. This guy's going to replace Tom Brady. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Well, Jesus, we'll give you multiple first round picks. He's a young guy. No. Just a second, really.
I've got Tom in here right now. Tom, the Tom Brady that's won multiple Super Bowls by this point. And Tom Brady says we have to trade him because if not, we're going to replace him with Jimmy. And all it's going to cost you is a second round pick. And the 49ers said, well, you know what? I mean, this guy's going to replace Tom Brady. Like, we have a chance to end the Patriots dynasty. They get Jimmy Garoppolo for a second round pick. And then he comes in, I think in like October. He like came into the team and then didn't play until there was only 5 games left. Or like came in at the end of like, 6 games left. And then he goes undefeated because, newsflash, Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Brian Hoyer and CJ Beathard. Yeah. And so they did win a couple, like, they beat like a really good Jaguars team. And then I think they beat the Rams, who might have been resting their starters. But still, it was like, hey, we beat the Rams. And then the 49ers decided, you know what? Jimmy Garoppolo in those 5 games was so good, we're going to make him the highest paid player ever.
Yeah. Right? I remember that. When that happened, I was like, they are fucking insane.
I was happy that happened because I'm like, you know what? If we're not going to pay anybody else, Might as well pay the guy that like actually can win football games, you know? So
Yeah.
I was happy at the time. And then, it was 5 years, right? And I'm just like, man, like, all
We
right,
are set.
we're set. We got our guy. We need to build a Jimmy. Jimmy's gonna get better. Jimmy did not get better. He never did. He literally the best football he played, I think, was like those 5 games, and then 2019 he played well. But all right,
Well,
so
he was
then
great on the Raiders.
oh yeah, he was a world beater, Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Um, but all right, I'm gonna skip past 2018 where Jimmy got hurt. 2019, Jimmy goes to the Super Bowl. 2020, Jimmy Garoppolo has a high ankle sprain and is like not healthy enough to play the whole year. And then the 49ers just say, you know what? 3 firsts and a third. Oh, mind you, in 2018, they could have drafted Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen.
Wow.
Well,
What pick did they have? They were probably behind the Josh Allen pick, huh?
when did Josh Allen get taken? 8th?
I want to say he was 7th.
7th? All right. So maybe they wouldn't have had the opportunity at Josh Allen, but they could have traded up 3 firsts and a third for Josh Allen.
Yeah, I want to say the Bills traded up for Josh Allen, but I could be wrong.
And you want to know when you trade 3 firsts and a third to move up in the draft?
When you know you're going to get your guy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Not in June or not in February or whatever fucking month they did it in.
Also they said, yeah, we hadn't even scouted the quarterbacks yet. We just knew that there were 5 guys and we wanted to take one.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I liked Trey. I still like Trey. I think he's a good kid. It's weird to call him a kid. He's like 2 years younger than me. But like, I don't know, dude. They could have had Lamar Jackson in that draft, which I understood why they took Mike McGlinchey. I have been begging the 49ers to take offensive linemen, in the first couple rounds. So, all right, that's fine. Where am I? 2021.
Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah, they get Trey Lance. He plays a total of 4 games before they decide, yeah, we're done with him. Oh, damn. I guess running him up the middle wasn't a good idea, huh? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so, like we talk about Jamarcus Russell, but if Trey Lance never ever gets an opportunity in the NFL, I'm sorry. I love Trey Lance. He will by default be the worst, the biggest bust I think in NFL history. And it's not entirely his fault. Like it's not. I don't think the situation from COVID, taking away his senior season. Or not senior season.
Yeah.
I guess that final season.
I just think at the end of the day, Jamarcus Russell was a bust because he was bad and he was just terrible at everything involved in the game of football and the lifestyle of football.
Yeah.
Whereas what makes Trey Lance the biggest bust of all time is the cost spent on him and essentially the opportunity cost of, well, instead we don't make that trade. You stick at each pick, you get Mac Jones or Micah Parsons, or you trade up and get a perennial All-Pro corner, and you keep other first-round picks to make your team better because either way you were starting Garoppolo, hindsight 2020. Like I was saying at the beginning, you probably win a Super Bowl. That's why he's the biggest bust of all time.
Trade up, get Patrick Surtain. Trade up, get could have gotten Micah Parsons. Just even staying. Could have gotten Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Depending
on
but you're not gonna make that massive of a move for not a quarterback.
Right.
But
I mean, you are in a win now window though. You could.
So they
Like
run.
that's why just random, really quick, random. There was reporting. This is so off topic, but when you're in a win now window where it's like we can win the Super Bowl, I would be like so annoyed if my team and my general manager doesn't go all out. Like that's why I'm like, dude, the Eagles GM is a stud. Every year he's putting out moves, and like this year it's been like 6th-round picks, nothing big, no big deal. Uh, the reported price for Brees Hall from the Jets was a 3rd-round pick. Why in the fuck did the Chiefs not say, fine, here you go? Like, I get it, it's a running back, and like maybe you don't re-sign him after the year, but like, I think if you put Brees Hall in the Chiefs offense, they might immediately be the best team in the AFC.
I think the Chiefs didn't do it because I mean, 3rd-round pick for a 1-year rental.
But you could re-sign him. If he like is that good, you could re-sign him. He's only a running back. It's not like he's an offensive tackle.
You could, but I also do think like it's good sometimes when teams like hold their ground and don't cave in because you don't want to be the team that always caves in. Like,
Yeah, I think that what they should have done is offered either something similar to what the Raiders got for Jacoby Myers, where it's like, all right, we're not going to give you a 3rd, but we'll give you a 4th and a 6th. But then you're giving up 2 picks, and it's like, do you really want to do that? I feel like what I would do if I were the Chiefs is I would give a conditional 3rd, or I guess conditional 4th, that could become a 3rd, depending on, playtime or accolades. You know,
mm, yeah.
that's what I would do. But anyways.
So going on, they give up on Trey Lance after 4 games, and they kept Jimmy Garoppolo around. You know, the guy that Trey was supposed to replace, and we go, oh yeah, we love Jimmy. You know, it would. Oh,
Mhm.
we just love Jimmy. He wins games. Well, damn, you could have supported Jimmy, or you could have stayed pat and drafted Mac Jones. Um, and then they get amazing play out of Brock Purdy, right? And Brock Purdy is probably, I mean, he definitely was that was the best quarterback play since at least Kaepernick, for sure. But you could even argue that Purdy, when he first came in, like the first year and a half that he played, was maybe even better than Kaepernick. I'm willing to listen to that argument. Um, but yeah, and then Purdy didn't play that great last year. He turned the ball over a lot last year. And then we weren't winning a lot of games. And then the 49ers decided, yeah, you know what? We'll bring in the guy that we probably should have taken in the first place and just like, because all the reports were that Mac Jones was going to be the guy. And then they finally get him, which, whoever thought, let's put Mac Jones on a 2-year deal instead of a 1-year deal. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Mac Jones would have been on the Raiders next year. Tom Brady got a front row seat announcing the game, watching Mac Jones complete 33 of 38 passes, or 33 of 39 passes, and Tom Brady was saying how great, was talking about how great Mac Jones was playing.
Yeah. I could
You,
totally see Mac Jones as a Raider.
I can
I mean,
see it.
currently not so much, but I could see it in a year from now, like him being like a trade deadline type of guy or something. I don't know.
Would you be happy with Mac Jones?
At his current price, yes, but I'd be a little skeptical about like giving him a massive deal after he like earns the starting job. Like I don't know. I would be. I think for what Mac Jones is best at, which I think pairing him with a Shanahan type coordinator makes a lot of sense. Um, which is like I don't think Chip Kelly would work for him so much, mostly because of Chip Kelly, not him. Um, I would probably want something short term because I still, at the end of the day, I still want the Raiders to draft a quarterback.
You know who needs to trade for Mac Jones, and who should send a first round pick for Mac Jones?
This is probably like somehow funny. So
No,
I'm
not funny.
thinking,
I'm being dead
oh, like
serious.
serious.
You know who need you like. It would be a good trade for that team.
Are they in the playoff hunt? Oh, this would be like half funny, but also like might be serious. Don't tell me the team if it's not this team. Is it the Jaguars?
No,
Okay. Okay, so it's probably a team without a quarterback, right?
it's a team with a quarterback.
Just not a good one. Well, the Raiders.
Well,
um, oh, the
ooh,
Cardinals.
no,
That would have been a good way to come back to the actual topic.
no. We will come back to the actual topic.
Yeah. Um, somebody like lacking at quarterback, right?
Yes.
I mean, God, I'd have to really think of all the teams. I guess the Jets or Saints.
Nope. I mean they
Oh,
probably would be in the market.
I know who. I know who. It's the Dolphins.
No.
I was so confident. I was like, ex Shanahan coach, Tua blows.
Dude,
Um,
McDaniel's not going to be there after this year. He's not.
yeah.
I think they just want to
Uh,
fire him probably at the end of the year.
yeah, makes sense. And they should completely blow that thing up. They
Yeah.
should rebuild. Um, AFC or NFC?
NFC.
Uh, is it the Vikings?
Yeah. The Vikings
That's a
let
yeah.
they let Sam Darnold go, and it's proving to be a massive mistake, right? Sam Darnold
Yeah.
came from the 49ers and he played very well for them. If you're the Vikings and JJ McCarthy doesn't figure it out by the end of this year, you wouldn't try to trade a first round pick to improve your quarterback play with the receivers that you have right now. Because
Man.
right now Mac Jones is proving in the Shanahan system that he can play very well and he can make deep throws. I think a first round pick would be worth it for them, especially if they extend Mac Jones. I guess JJ McCarthy was like almost the Trey Lance effect where got injured and then set him back, right?
Mm,
Like, but at least JJ McCarthy is proving that he sucks. Trey Lance never got an opportunity to even do that. Like,
right.
or he in a very limited capacity.
Yeah.
I think I think the Vikings make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I would not take
Especially.
it. I want to keep Mac Jones.
Yeah. No, I mean that would be a tough one. I guess at the end of the day, that would depend on how Shanahan and
John Lynch.
GM John Lynch really feel about Purdy, with this contract. But if they really do have an out at the end of next season, like you have Mac Jones on the deal, just ride it out.
The only issue with the entire notion of it that I can see is that if truly Mac Jones, if truly he does prove that he is going to be, that he's better than Brock Purdy, and
Hmm.
he proves that we're going to make him the next future quarterback, you're essentially going to have to pay Mac Jones. And
Yeah.
then you're probably in the same situation where you bring in another quarterback and it's like, you know what, this quarterback for this price versus Mac Jones at this price. Like it's the ongoing conundrum. The problem the problem really stems from like, all right, you get this level of quarterback play. Like let's just say Brock Purdy was giving this level quarterback play, right? And Mac
Hmm.
Jones was given this level of quarterback play, like bang for your buck. Like, let's just say it's close, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe Purdy does some things better, Mac does some things better. And like it genuinely evens out, or you can't tell who's better. Mac Jones for the contract, hell yeah, right? if it's even close, you should always try and go for the guy on the significantly cheaper deal.
Mm.
Which if Mac Jones, if we're still having these conversations that he should be starting at the end of next year, he's going to get a pretty good payday, and you're going to have to pay Brock's dead cap. So
Yeah, I mean, look at Darnold. You know, he just got $100 million contract, which already is kind of looking like a cheap deal for the Seahawks.
yeah,
So
it's a good thing they got a third from Geno, while they still had an opportunity to. I can't say that honestly, I can't say that I didn't smell the immediate reek of like, man, you know what? The Raiders just laid a stinker when they traded for Geno Smith, dude. Like, I can't say I was open and honest. I said I didn't like it. And you know what? You kind of started to talk me in like, yeah, look at these plays. Tell me what quarterbacks are making these throws, right? Uh, you were sending me clips, and I was like, you know what? Maybe Geno is better than I thought. He did go 10 and
yeah.
7. But all right, let's finish off 49ers Cardinals because we went on a massive quarterback tangent right there. Like a 40-minute quarterback tangent.
So the Cardinals got absolutely gashed by the Seahawks this past week, but the week before that, they faced somebody. I feel like they played on prime time. Was it the Cowboys?
The Seahawks or the
No, the
Cardinals?
Cardinals, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they got spanked by the Cowboys.
Fuck.
No. Other way around. Cardinals spanked the Cowboys.
Okay, yeah. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Um so the Cardinals have this kind of capability of like being a kind of punch you in the face sort of team, I think. I have always, you probably won't agree with me here. I have kind of always, like, I don't care for his personality, but I like their head coach. Like, I think he seems like he at least knows what he's doing to a degree.
Jonathan
This is
Gannon.
he's a first, yeah, he's a first time head coach, so you can see it, you know. But I can also see how like they seem to still play hard for him. Like he's never lost the team, you know. In the what is this now year 3 for him? I
Yeah,
think.
I don't think his tenure is going to last that much longer.
If if they like end out with like a top 5 to 7 pick this year, maybe they do fire him. But if they feel like, man, he has never lost his team, and like maybe behind closed doors, it's like he's really impressive or something. Maybe they decide to keep him, and the fall guy is Kyler Murray, because I really do believe Kyler Murray will not play another down for the Cardinals.
Where will he go?
I hate to say it, he feels like a Raider.
Yeah, I was thinking.
He
My mind
totally
went to the
feels like a
Raiders.
Raider. Um,
And then
and
we're gonna have the discussion like, yeah,
look at these
Kyler Murray.
plays, man.
Kyler Murray's a Raider through and through. It doesn't matter if he
Dude,
can't throw the ball or see over his line. He's just gonna run for the first down the Raider way. He's fast.
he is such a Raider because he has the capability of being great, but he will never stop being mid as a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like he has this amazing capability to escape the pocket and, evade pressure. And then he throws the ball and it hits the ground 2 feet away from the receiver. Or it just sails over them and it's like, dude, what the fuck?
I think
Um
I think Kyler's biggest problem, I think it's his physical limitation with his height. Like I genuinely think that he can't entirely see and read the defense.
yeah.
So he utilizes his legs to, run, and he has to run where the defense allows him to,
Mm.
and then he has to pick from there.
Uh, I just realized that Marvin Harrison got a touchdown this past week on like a 9-yard touchdown, and that was the difference in my fantasy matchup. Like I'm just thinking back to that, or like maybe the third of the 3 Jonathan Taylor touchdowns is probably what did me in. But yeah, it just hit me right. I don't know if you saw it. I was just like, motherfucker. Um,
Hey,
but I'm
everybody
like, it just
watching this man right here. Oh my god! Anytime he has the final players playing on Monday night, I'm sorry, but he's getting ready. Imagine the Grim Reaper down the hall. You know, he's just waiting to slice your head off and take you to hell.
I almost got Tyler. It was so close. I had Josh Jacobs last night, and I was down by 21.7 points. And I'm like, he needs 2 touchdowns and like 80 yards or whatever the math is. And then it like hit me. I was like, well, oh fuck. Yeah, I don't know. But point being, he got a late touchdown, and it was like, how in the fuck? I'm 2 points away. And
Dude,
then
I
it was
don't know
like
how it
5 minutes
happened.
left.
I saw
I
eight
don't
points
know.
after that touchdown. I
Yeah.
saw 8 points, but I was watching it on the antenna. So it was ahead of Sleeper.
Yeah. Oh wow. I uh I did not watch the game until the final 2 minutes when the Packers got the ball back.
Oh my
Um
god, dude. You missed
yeah.
it because like, all right, Jacobs got that touchdown, right? And then
Yep.
like there was still like 6 minutes left or so, like there was a lot of time left still in the fourth quarter. And then the
Yeah.
Eagles just go on this long drive and it's like, man, they're chewing the hell out of the clock, dude. They were
Yeah.
chewing the clock, and then you think, man, the Packers might not be able to get the ball. And then just, they get the ball back. And then I sent a text to Tyler, or no, no. All right, the Eagles are driving down the field, and then I text the chat. I go, yeah, you know what? You
Yeah.
know what, Tyler? I think you're in the clear now. Like, because I
Yeah.
thought it was 8 points, and I was like, oh, there's no way that they're gonna run. I thought it was 8 points, and then Tyler was like, Josh, why the fuck would you say that? Like, and I was like, I looked at the matchup, and then I saw 2 points.
2 points.
I
Yeah.
went, and then I said, Tyler, I'm not gonna lie, you're cooked, buddy.
Dude.
I thought it was
So
8.
the only thing that saved him was the fact that it was like a 2-minute drill and they had 2 timeouts and Jordan Love fucking sucks. But there was one play. It was like 2nd and 10 and Josh Jacobs went out in like the flat and there was like a defensive lineman or linebacker on him, but Jacobs got behind him and Love kind of like sailed it, you know?
Mm.
And it just went out of like Jacobs kind of was his body was turned the wrong way, so he was like
Yes.
this,
Yeah, the pass.
and then he needed to go like this
Yes.
to get it, and it was too late. Like if he caught that, nobody was near him.
Yep.
That would have been 0.5 points, and if he got 15 yards, I would have won.
I went.
So long as he doesn't fumble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, him losing that. Honestly, you lost your matchup because Jacobs lost the fumble. If they keep the ball right there, if they keep the ball right there, Jacobs probably gets those 2 points that you need because you lost by 4. So you lost 2 with the fumble. You would have maybe gotten another dump off or whatever,
Well, it was also a penalty. I think it was 4th and 1, and they got a penalty. Unless it was 3rd and 1, but I'm pretty sure it was 4th and 1. And they got a penalty on offense, so it would have been 4th and 6. So, I mean, they had to throw the ball at that point. So it's either they don't get it, probably game over, or they do get it, and then you're right, maybe he does get the points. But, I mean, it's fine. I did not expect to win because of my bye weeks and whatnot, so.
Yeah. Dude, and then the best part, oh my God, the best part was the Eagles could have just like bled out the clock, and I stopped watching. Once the Packers turned it over on downs, or once the Cowboys got the ball
Yeah.
back. I'm not the Cowboys,
Yeah.
the Eagles got the ball back, right?
Off
And
the
then I
fumble.
was like, the
This game's over.
I was like, the game's over. The Packers don't have any timeouts. Like, there's no way that they can stop the clock. It's donezo. And then, so I hop on Xbox. PO was waiting for me to hop on, and like my friends were waiting, and so I see the chat. Everybody was celebrating, right?
Yeah,
Like,
everybody's celebrating that I
yeah,
lost.
hush.
Tyler and I
Okay.
both are like, yeah, good game, dude. Good game.
Yeah. No, but like literally Hutch was like, we hitting the clubs,
Yeah.
and we were all like, yeah, we're gonna burn down Mike's house if he wins. Like, well, that was me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't being serious, by the way. I was just like,
I-
the fact every Monday night, dude, that
Yeah.
like
Every
you're
year.
down, it happens every time. Every time.
You are in big trouble this week.
Yeah, you have 3 Monday night people.
It is overdue.
I'm gonna get a triple dose of Monday Night Mike. Honestly, I don't know what it is. This year I haven't had a lot of players playing Monday Night Football. Normally I have some too. Like, a lot of my players are done by Sunday afternoon. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. But that being said, I was getting ready to play, and then they were like, "Oh my God, he took so long watching stupid football." And then I get the text in the chat, "Oh wait, it's not over." After everybody had already celebrated, I saw Tyler go. Somebody went, "Wait a second, it's not over." And I went, "What?" And the TV was still on in the living room, and I peeked down the hallway and I see the Packers have the ball. And I was like,
the Eagles, because I think the Packers still had 2 timeouts, and the Packers got them stopped. It was like 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 5, with a minute 17. Am I tripping? Maybe it was 4th and 5. I don't know. All I know is they got down to like 30 seconds, and the Eagles went for it on 4th down. They could have punted it and pinned them.
Yeah.
And for some dumbass reason, they went for it up 3. If you're up 7, fine, put the game away. Better yet, it should be when you're up like 10. No, because then you can just punt and it's over. If you're up 7, fine, I get it. You're up 3 and you're going for it on like 4th and 5. What are you doing?
And you're going to put them literally in field goal range.
And you have to throw it. So if you don't complete it, I mean, it's a 4th down, so I guess no matter what, the time stops. But, like, they're going to have 30 seconds. Like, all they need is 1 defensive pass interference, and this game is going to overtime. And they almost got it. The first play, Jordan Love threw a deep fade to Christian Watson, and I was like, if a fucking flag gets thrown right now, I'm going to win this matchup.
Yeah, dude. It was insane because we were like, oh, glad that's over. And then, I think you had said, hey, you sent a text, you went, hey, wouldn't it be funny if Jalen Hurts fumbles right now or something like that?
Yeah, like, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And then, fuck, man, like, you guys had already said GG, and then it was like, wait a second. It was like that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when they were when they went to the Super Bowl and Charlie had to do his fucking his superstitions and whatnot in order for them to win. And they actually put on the actual game footage of the Super Bowl between the Eagles and the Patriots. It was so awesome. And it was like, oh yeah, we won. And then it's like, wait a second, Brady's got the ball, Do you remember that Super Bowl where Brady like threw that last pass to Gronk and they didn't get it against the Eagles?
I remember, that's the Philly special Super Bowl?
Yeah, that was the Philly special Super Bowl. The Patriots could have won on the last play, but it was like a long shot.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the final 2 minutes being hectic, but I don't remember exactly how it went.
If you haven't seen that 2-part episode, oh my God, you have to watch it. That's like some of the best. That's some of the best. Like, It's Always Sunny right there. and then like it's NFL, it's like right up your alley. But
Yeah.
literally, it was like, all right, this game is over. Everybody's celebrating, and then all of a sudden, wait, it's not over. After like you said what you said, and I went, if this game goes to overtime right now and Mike wins in overtime after everybody had celebrated, oh yeah, fuck Mike, thank God that we didn't, thank God that that's over with. Tyler, you did it. And then you just freaking like, if you
Still
would have,
in.
do you
That would have
know?
been the most insane one yet.
Yeah,
Like more insane than Le'Veon Bell fumbling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which that one was insane. Honestly, the most insane one would have been the playoff one against me. If Ian Book had thrown that final interception, Mike, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd be sitting here talking with you today.
You may not be playing fantasy football anymore.
I might be in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
Uncle
All
Bill's
right.
showroom tuned in. He said Cowboys going to get belt to ass Raiders. We will talk about the
We'll get
Raiders.
on that.
Let's give our predictions, Mike. We spent the entire topic talking about everything besides the 49ers versus Cardinals, but honestly, who the hell cares? I've got the 49ers winning this game. I think the fact that Kyler Murray is not playing and that the 49ers are not going to have to worry about him running outside the pocket and picking up, these first downs and extending plays, I think it bodes well for this team. And the fact that they haven't had much pass rushing production, I think that they're going to be able to sack Jacoby Brissett a couple times. I think the 49ers will win this game. They also don't even have a running back either. They lost James Conner. They lost Trey Benson. Like, they got Zonovan Knight, maybe Amari DeMarcado. Do they still have Michael Carter? I don't know. But
Yeah.
I just think that the 49ers are going to, they're going to win. And then it's going to be one of those things where I predict Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall are going to come back and they're going to have good games. And then it's going to be like, oh, man, this is what the 49ers team has been missing. Like, that's going to be the narrative from, like, all the mainstream, media and whatnot. But that's not how I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it as this is a game that they should have won. So if they lose this game, I think that if they lose this game and Brock Purdy plays, I think you got to go back to Mac Jones. And not that they would outright bench Brock Purdy, but they would say, yeah, we really pushed Brock to play this week, and his toe, he aggravated his toe. We could tell that he wasn't 100%. He's going to have to miss a couple more weeks. I think that's exactly how it's going to, how that scenario would go. But I got the 49ers winning this one. What do you think, Uncle Bill?
I don't think that Kyler being out of this game is necessarily a good thing for you guys.
I do.
From what I've seen from the Cardinals. I get it from like a pass rushing perspective. But it sure seems these past couple weeks like Jacoby Brissett is genuinely a better quarterback than Kyler. That being said, the Niners will win this game. Just wanted to scare you a little bit, but yeah, I think the Niners will win in this game.
Yep. We're both on the same page. Now we can turn the page to the Raiders versus Broncos because I know Uncle Bill's in here he's already talking about the Monday night game that's going to happen that is unfortunately going to be the end of me. Dude, we have a really it's a very big matchup between you and I.
I mean, for me especially, but also, yeah, for you to stay in that bye week race. You also, I noticed you do play your brother twice these next couple of weeks.
No,
just once.
Just once.
Okay, I'm tripping. But still, I mean, that's your biggest matchup rest of year. Because if you can beat him, especially if you beat me, you will suddenly most likely get the number 2 seed, if not 1 seed, depending on Lorenzo. Do you face Lorenzo again?
No, I don't face Lorenzo again. Dude, like literally thinking about it, the way that we mapped the schedule has been brilliant because literally we saved because Joey was only going to play me once this year. We saved that to the end. Joey and I are both fighting for like a first round bye, and Joey has never beat me. And it's like, all right, Joey, you want the bye?
Uh-huh.
You gotta beat me. And then me, I'm like, I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm not in a position where I'm like, maybe I can, have a bad week and let my brother win. I'm like, hey man, that's my fucking spot. Like get out of my way. Sorry, Uncle Bill,
Yeah.
we're going on another fantasy tangent, but must win or can't lose. Are you talking about the fantasy matchup between Mike
Niners
and
or
I?
fantasy?
It is Mike. I think it's a must win for Mike because
Yeah, I'm
he's
in a
still
four-way tie at 5-5. I am the fourth seed because I have the second highest points scored in the league. Yet I'm 5-5. The highest point scorer is the one seed at what 8-2. Um, but yeah, I'm in a four-way tie. That fourth person being in seventh place, and we only have 6 playoff teams. So you know, my team needs to lock the hell in, and this is week 11, so we have 4 weeks left. I have to win at least 2 of them. 3 will get me in the playoffs
Mhm.
because in that event, most likely, I doubt that any of like the likelihood is none of us go 4-0 of the 5-0 team or 5-5 teams. But also if I'm winning 3 out of 4 games, chances are I'm scoring enough points to stay above most of those guys. So even if I'm tied with 2 of them, I should be above or lower than the 6th seed if I win 3 games.
You know what I think? I think my team is
Hmm.
fraudulent.
Fraudulent. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, you are star-studded, that's for sure.
NFL star studded. There's a
Yeah.
difference. The
Well,
the
I mean,
guys the guys that I have this
fantasy.
year, any given year, my team would be like, far and away the best team. But for this year, I don't have the guys this year. I think
Hmm.
you know,
I
and
mean,
that's like I'm not even
that's
trying. I'm
I
not
can
trying to
see why it
actually.
feels that way. No, no, I
Yeah,
know. I can definitely see why it feels that way. That is something obviously we will have yet to see. And if the time comes where divisional round or whatever it's called, second round of the playoffs, and you lose to somebody, then it would be like, yeah, you called it, you know. But until then, I mean, I'm I'm gonna have faith that those players are gonna perform.
it's literally gonna be a matter of if 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 Bijan can go back to normal, then yeah, then it literally. I'm calling out Bijan right now. It's all up
Hmm.
to you, buddy. All right. If you can go back to being yourself, then we're not fraudulent. We're
Yeah.
contenders. But if you're gonna keep letting uh, Tyler Algier be in bed with your partner, the offensive coordinator, it's not gonna happen.
So just to answer Uncle Bill's chill rooms question of who's the best team, I'll go through 3 teams here, and then we'll go on to the Raiders, and we should be able to wrap this up quickly.
Yeah.
So Lorenzo is the one seed at 8-2. I might do 4 teams.
Yeah, because you
Lorenzo
want to
has Drake
include yours.
May. Well, I mean, I want to include Joey actually, um, just because he's so highly ranked as well.
He's the number two
Um,
seed.
yes, sir. I was gonna do Lorenzo, you, and me, but I was like, I gotta do Joey at that point too.
Yeah.
So Lorenzo, one seed has Drake May, Devon Achan, who he recently traded for, Jameer Gibbs, Drake London, Emeka Egbuka, currently Colston Loveland at tight end. That's his biggest question mark. Oh, he's got Tucker Craft on IR.
Yep.
Yeah. Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's his. I mean, him and Gibbs are his, and Achan and London. I mean, fuck. Cameron Dicker, and currently the Cleveland Browns and Patriots defense, and then on their bench, We don't start two defenses. Just those are his two defenses right now. Jordan Love, Jordan Mason, Roma Dunze, AJ Brown, Christian Watson, and again Tucker Kraft on IR. Joey, this is Josh's brother, has Josh Allen. He is also 8-2, but significantly lower than Lorenzo in points scored. Significantly, quote unquote.
Lorenzo might break your record, dude. Last year,
we'll see. I haven't paid as much attention, but he's scored he has had a lot of high scoring games.
He's had like 2 180-point weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Joey has Josh Allen, Kyron Williams, DeAndre Swift, Quentin Johnston, Devontae Adams, Sam Laporta, Jalen Waddle, Chase McLaughlin, Tampa Bay kicker, Seattle Seahawks defense. They scored 23 points last week. Woody Marks, Chuba Hubbard, Zonovan Knight, Cardinals running back, Jacoby Myers, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce, and then Brandon Ayuk on IR.
And now Mike's going to go through my team. And then literally, like I said, I have NFL stars. And any given year, this would be like, by far, you're going to hear the names and you're going to go, what, is this a one-team league?
Yeah. Josh has Lamar Jackson, Bijan Robinson.
Yup.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yup.
Justin Jefferson.
Yup.
Recently got Travion Henderson.
Yup.
He has Tyler Warren.
Yup.
Romeo Dobbs.
Yup.
Eddie Pinheiro.
Yup.
Carolina Panthers defense. Baker Mayfield, Tyler Algier, Brian Robinson of the Niners, Chase Brown. I should have mentioned him earlier.
Yep.
That's essentially your flex guy right now. Keenan Allen, Luke Musgrave at tight end because Tyler Warren's on bye. Pearsall and Chris Godwin on IR. We have 2 IR spots.
Yep.
I royally fucked up cutting Travion Henderson. I just got impatient with him. And then
I don't blame you for doing it. He was dead.
Yeah, I mean the timing made sense. He was terrible.
It wasn't going to happen
the way that they were,
unless Ramondre got injured.
Yeah, and I mean that's why I'm a little annoyed is because that's just I had accepted that by like week 5. I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to wait for the injury, And then Antonio Gibson went down, and I was like, 1 down, 1 to go. Yeah, I mean, Ramondre just had a stranglehold on that thing. So, yeah, it made sense. I'm not that mad about it, but I'm just like,
no.
It would have been worth it, obviously, just to keep the patience.
Mike Vrabel had a stranglehold on Travion, is what, like, literally, that's what it was, because it's like,
yeah, all
right, I actually think Ramondre was good. Like, just the fumbling, if Ramondre had solid, super glue on his hands, and he would never fumble the football, I think he'd be a decent, like, NFL running back week in and week out. But like literally we saw Travion Henderson like light it up in the preseason. The biggest threat to us is the number 1 seed that Mike named earlier. And also
Lorenzo?
the biggest threat to us is each other, because every single year Mike and I are each other's rivals. And
so again, Lorenzo and Joey are 8-2. Josh is 7-3, and then there's a 4 straight tie at 5-5. My team leading that 5-5 tiebreaker or whatever. Dak Prescott, Josh Jacobs, Ashton Gianti, Rashee Rice, Tet McMillan, Trey McBride, George Pickens, Jason Myers, Seattle's kicker, Houston Texans defense. I also have the Jaguars defense. Bo Nix. On IR, I have Omarion Hampton and Joe Burrow, who I picked up. And then the rest of my bench is Alec Pierce, Troy Franklin, Emmanuel Wilson, Packers running back, and Chris Rodriguez.
God, you have such a Mike team.
Just nasty starters.
No, just you. This is you build your team so much differently than the way I do.
Mm.
And I'm not saying it's a right or wrong way. Like, you freaking you put me in my place last year. Like, I think that's why maybe I'm so successful in the league, is because I construct my roster. I'm the best at constructing the roster the way that I do.
Mm.
Where I just I always, for whatever reason, I have a gift. Every year. Well, I'm not gonna say I have a gift. I have had the fortune every single year to just have great running backs. You know, I
Yeah.
know how to spot them, and then I know, at least I'm good at like working trades. You know, I would say
Mm.
I have that going for me. Um, but you like it's disgusting. It's like the strength of your team, I would say, is the receivers.
Yeah.
But it like right now, it's like you're getting solid play for a couple weeks out of some receivers. Other receivers are mainstays. My team, like, I just have Justin Jefferson now, but like I never have a team that has like world beating receivers. The last time I did, it was like DeAndre Hopkins.
Puka.
Oh, actually Puka and Malik Neighbors. But like, if I had a tandem of two, well, I did have Devonte Adams last year too, but he wasn't normal Devonte.
Your team last year was so insane.
Oh my god! All right,
Yeah.
let me tell Uncle Bill, because he probably wants to know. My team last year, my running backs were Bijan Robinson, uh, Jameer Gibbs, Josh Jacobs. My tight end was Brock Bowers, quarterback Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, Devonte Adams, and then I had Calvin Ridley when he was decent last year too. So, you know what Mike did? Mike took me out back, took me to the shed, slaughtered me in the
I old
championship.
yellered that team.
I also had a combination of, between my kicker and my defense, -2 points. It's
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
it's really awesome. I was thrilled. From draft day
Some
to
of these
now,
questions. Yes.
which team wowed you the most in terms of good or underwhelming? Ooh,
I
that's
would
a good.
say Lorenzo in
And
terms of
Joey.
good. And
Well,
Joey,
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, both
Joey
of
in
them.
terms of being one of the top two seeds for sure, because I didn't think
Yeah.
that his draft was as good, but like, I feel bad. He drafted Cam Scadaboo. That was like a big player for him, earlier this year.
Yeah.
Um, and then Lorenzo's team, I look at it up and down right now, and I'm like, man, he took all the receivers in the draft. Like, he took
Yeah.
all the great receivers.
The thing that wowed me about Lorenzo's team is that he went Jameer Gibbs and then 5 straight receivers, and all of them were like awesome.
Yep.
And one of them was DK Metcalf, who he traded with Quinshon Judkins to get Devon Achan. Um, and then earlier you asked biggest threat to us. I would
Lorenzo.
say Lorenzo, yes, but if I'm looking at somebody below us, I'd say Tyler,
Tyler.
just because of Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor.
Taylor. Yep.
And then if Bucky Irving comes back, Hutch is a sleeper for the whole thing because he has Nico Collins and Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has Justin Herbert at quarterback. He has James Cook if he figures it out, and then Bucky Irving gets healthy, which is a big question mark. I don't know what's going on there. He has Mark Andrews and Dallas Goedert at tight end, and also Devontae Smith is suddenly kind of like becoming relatively consistent right now. He has a stacked team secretly.
Yeah.
If he just
He's
figures it
made good
out, and
trades.
if Bucky Irving gets healthy.
That's another thing too, man. I still think, as bad as you guys think my trades have been, you know, I look at Lorenzo's trade, which I don't think is as bad. Um, as I don't think it was like a bad trade whatsoever, but I think it's on par with mine. Um, I didn't think it was like a horrible one, but like nobody says anything about his trade, and then
The
uh,
Nico Collins
the
trade.
Nico Collins trade I think was like the one where like Alex, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think most people, I would agree with you in the sense that most people would not accept that trade. Um, because of what you figured Nico Collins would be for your team, but also like looking at Nico Collins up to that point, in large part because of his injury or concussion, whatever he had going on, but also like a lot of like 7 point games or whatever, like on paper, it's not as bad as it seems because Dalton Kincaid he's been great up until just now getting an injury, I think, like a hamstring or something, but um of it all was just like you probably could have done a little better there.
Yeah. Um, but no, Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill's chill room. Those were great questions. We're gonna get back to Raiders versus Broncos. It was not that great of a game. It was 10-7, and you could tell the fans in the stadium were like very upset with the Broncos because they probably expected they were gonna kill the Raiders, and it was like such a close game. I mean, they almost lost.
Bo Nix put up a whopping like 7 points for me this past week.
Uh,
Yeah, 7.8. So I mean, if he just had a regular ass game, if he threw one more touchdown, I literally would have won my matchup. But that's whatever. He had Sam Darnold. He had six. He had less points from Sam Darnold. So fair game. Um, but this game was very weird. It was one of those just like snooze fest fucking Thursday night football. Just why am I even watching this type of game? Um, Gianti got the early touchdown, which was nice. I had a lot of shit going on with my wide receivers on buys, Rasheed Rice and Pickens, so I picked up Alec Pierce and Troy Franklin ahead of this matchup, and they both did good for me. And I was pretty confident in those pickups. Um, Hopeful but confident. Uh, Too little, too late. But as far as this game, Jesus, sorry, I'd rather talk fantasy all night than the Raiders. As far as this game, something happened in this game. Okay, well, the Raiders fired their special teams coordinator in large part because of this game. Also, probably mostly in large part because if they don't get a few punts hit or blocked or missed field goals with Carlson, which I think Carlson is a whole other conversation right now. He's probably not going to be the Raiders kicker next year, if I had to guess, at this rate at least. Um, the Raiders might be like 5-4 if you just switch out like one or two special teams mishaps like per game.
mm-hmm.
Like that's really how close they've actually been at the end of the day, but it doesn't feel like that. Um, but I mean, somebody, I think it was you or maybe I sent it to you, but somebody made a tweet that was like, yeah, if the Raiders just won like these two before the Thursday night football game, if the Raiders had won like these two, closer games or did this or that in each game, they would have been 4-4 going into this Thursday night football game or something like that. And I was like, what? And they were like, they'd be the 7th seed. I was like, what? Like, no way, dude. This
Yeah.
team sucks. Like, how can they be that close? But I think that's part of the any given Sunday sort of nature of football, of the worst team can compete with the best team any given week or even beat them. Um, so for a team to consistently lose and get the first overall pick, like you have to be really fucking bad. Whereas I think the Raiders are a little step ahead of whoever is going to have the first pick. Like I don't see us having the first pick. I think we're a team that's they're going to compete all year. They're going to, sneak out a win or two. Like this we got a Browns game in 2 weeks. They'll probably somehow win that game and I'll be pissed. because the Browns are also 2-7 right now. And I could see where maybe the Browns do take a quarterback next year. And I'd much rather us take a quarterback ahead of them.
Can
Um,
can I just give a hot take right now since we're talking Raiders Broncos?
sure.
The Broncos are going to be a first round exit team.
Oh, if Bo Nix is playing like that game against the Raiders defensive backs, yeah, they have no chance. And honestly, like from a fantasy perspective, it was really frustrating to watch Bo Nix. From a Raiders perspective, it's like I hope that's Bo Nix's career. I'll never pick him in fantasy again, and I will laugh hard week in and week out if that's Bo Nix. But the thing is, like every other week, like in fantasy, like he's the sixth rated quarterback in fantasy because every week it's like he's just inevitably going to score his points, even if they are getting killed or something, which is not something that happens to them this year. But he has put up numbers.
It's Sean
Um,
Payton. It's like literally Sean Payton has this stench right now. Like in his prime, with Drew Brees and like on the Saints, like it was fine. Like he was creative. He would use Taysom Hill. The offense was really good, but like, oh god, like everything about the Broncos offense makes me want to vomit out of my eyes.
yeah. Um, they should be so much better on offense, really. Um, I want to say they have a solid offensive line too. Like I don't know what the hell is going on with them, other than Max Crosby getting pressure.
Oh, but that's against
Um,
Mike McGlinchey.
yeah, true. Something happened in this game, and I'm forgetting it because it was Thursday night, and it's almost a week ago now. Um, I mean, it was probably the final drive. What happened on the final drive? I feel like the Raiders like fucked up somehow. I know the punt was blocked, and that gave the Broncos a
You
touchdown.
know, you know what it was,
Hmm.
um, or at least the one thing that I
Oh,
remember from this game
I know. I
was
know
Geno
something.
Smith got hit late.
Oh, he didn't only get hit late; he got hit a lot.
No, but he
He was
got
getting pummeled in this game.
he got hit late and low on one play, and they didn't throw the flag.
Yeah, yeah, that was a crazy one. And then I noticed the play that hurt him was like he got kneed in his side of his thigh or something, or his groin or something like that. Gino threw a pass to Janty and went off his arms or hands and got picked off. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
that was a bad one. You know what it was? That's what I was forgetting. The rookies sucked in this game. Besides Janty's touchdown, and like a couple drives where they were just like heavily running the ball with Janty and it was working. And then it would just like go to shit somehow. But like the rookie receivers were terrible in this game. There was like a 35-yard run that Janty broke off, and it gets called back because of a hold on Jack Besh. And I'm like, dude, you're already struggling for snaps. Like, please, like, don't do this to me. I'm rooting so hard for Jack Besh, mostly because he's a second round pick, obviously, but also like I'm rooting for the story and everything. But like, he is not helping the cause, dude. If you're getting holding calls on big 30-yard runs, and then I don't know what's going on in the routes and receptions area of the whole thing, but I mean he's not getting targets. And when he does, I feel like he had a drop in this game or something. Like I could be wrong. I don't want to say anything that's not true, but just as a pre-draft, like watching the guys, like Jack Besh was a guy that I was like, I see a lot in this. I see a lot of potential here. As like a uh, contested catch sort of guy. Like he can go up and get it. And if he can just polish the route tree, like he's sure-handed. Like he can be really good. So far, it is like Honestly, I wonder if he's having a hard time with the playbook. That's what I wonder. Other than just Pete Carroll being set in his old ways and like, well, Tyler Lockett will help us win. Good thing he's here. And it's like this. I mean, you're 2-7, and probably Pete Carroll is telling the team, guys, if we just did this, this, and this, we're 5-4. We're in the playoffs right now in the AFC. He's probably fully on board with that, and he's trying to get the guys on board with that too. But like, this is this can go on a whole other tangent. I will try to sum it up really quick, just off of that right there. Like, me personally, I'm 2-7. We just cut bait with the special teams coordinator. Throw in the fucking towel. Like, let's go towards the youth. Let's find out. This is year one. This is year one of a new regime. Like, let's just go about it. Like, I know you should be fighting for your job, but like, if I'm Pete Carroll, I should feel pretty confident that I'm gonna be given a second year of my term. You know, and if that's the case, like, let's find out what really works on this team and what doesn't, and not try to force it with Tyler Lockett. Like, that's just so ridiculous to me. So let's get Jack Besh on the field. Let's get Dante Thornton on the field. All those things. I wonder. I almost lost it, but I found it. I wonder if this team is so bad, but Pete Carroll insists, no, we can win, and next year we can win, and we should still run with Geno Smith, and yada yada yada. No, we shouldn't draft a quarterback. We should draft a defensive lineman because that's what we're a corner. That's what we need. I think the Raiders. I'm at the point now. The Tyler Lockett move is just what sets me off. Of like going for the veteran guy who has proven it with him before. Oh, he can help us win. Mark Davis, Tom Brady, John Spytek, and Pete Carroll all need to be in a room together the night of the final game this season. And they need to talk about what they see for the next 2 years of this team. I guarantee you Pete Carroll will not have the same answer as most of those guys in the room. And if that's the case, fire him.
After this year?
If at week 18, you guys that night should have a meeting, the four of you, or whenever Tom Brady can come in. John Spytek, how do you feel? What do what is your outlook on this team? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, we need to really, blah, 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 draft this, blah, blah, blah. Like, we need a quarterback, clearly. Fuck, Geno sucks. Blah, blah, whatever. And then, Mark Davis is just sitting there like this. Okay. And then, Pete, what do you think? Well, really, I think we can compete. We need to just, fill in the roster. We're going to have a lot of cap space next year. Like, we can fill this in and start winning next year. How do you feel about the quarterback position? Well, I think we can get another guy in here to compete, but I think Geno, because the contract he's on, and we know that he's a proven guy in this league, like, we can get this to work if we just get the guys to surround him to be better. Like, if the summary of what he's saying is we can win and we can make the playoffs next year and we don't need to draft a quarterback, and we like Nick is saying, 4 wins tops, which I agree. Like, if you have a top 5 to 6 pick in this draft and you're not saying we need to draft a quarterback, fireable. Get him out of here. So I just think if this team is really 2-7, which it is, and it deserves to be 2-7, which it does, you should be rebuilding. Or at the bare minimum, retooling, right? And we had the conversation, last week or 2 weeks ago when the trade deadline was coming up, of like, well, could you trade Max Crosby? I'm curious what would happen in the offseason, but I just don't see I think the collective agreement between Max Crosby and Mark Davis and even probably Spytech is Max Crosby should stay. And I agree with that. But everything else goes, basically.
Well, I think if Quinnen Williams goes for 2 firsts, I think that you can get a good haul, a better haul for Max Crosby.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean every single regime I say this, but I believe that Spytech can draft good. And I also wonder if a lot of the mishaps in this year's draft was Pete Carroll based. Of we can win now, let's pick a running back. When we had no reason to be picking a running back, we should have picked the fucking offensive tackle and
Mm-hmm.
built for the future, right? Like I wonder if Spytech was given 100% reins and you put like a rookie head coach in there with him, is is the Jets offensive tackle currently a Raider?
Membu?
You know, Armand Membu. Is Armand Membu currently our right tackle? Probably playing left right now because of Colt Miller's injury. And do we, instead pick like a third round running back, like, I don't know, Caleb Johnson or something, which would have been terrible, but, some other running back in the draft. And maybe we sign J.K. Dobbins, because he was still available like post draft. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like that would have been so much better. But I love Janty. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, for the future of this team, like, offensive tackle was always the move, in my opinion. Always the move. And
Yeah.
Janty excites me. I was happy when they made the pick. But deep down, like, I knew, like, all right, well, we really need to still figure out offensive tackle. Like, we should pick a tackle in the second round if he's there. Anyways, just long story short, there is they really need to focus in on what is this outlook for this team at the end of the season. And I think Mark Davis and Tom Brady should have a very specific idea of what that is. And if Pete Carroll differs from that, fire him and get a new head coach. Don't even waste time.
Well, I think if he's stubborn about it, for sure.
Yeah, well, that's just my thing is I think if Mark Davis and Tom Brady realize, like, yeah, we're way behind what we thought we were, like, Pete Carroll really sold us on this dream that Geno Smith can get it done and take us to the playoffs, and all we needed was a running back and, like, meh, offensive lineman. Clearly, that's not the case. Um, if they feel like, yeah, we really need to draft a quarterback and we need a lot of help along the way, like, if Pete Carroll is saying, no, 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 like, Geno's fine. He just had a really shit luck this year. And we can compete just if we just sign these guys and blah, blah, and fill in these spots. Like, you couldn't convince me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, going back to Raiders versus Broncos
So
specifically.
sorry. Another tangent.
No, no, you're fine. Um, that game was just horrible, and
Was there
real.
anything you wanted to tell me or bring up or something?
Uh, no, no, not
Okay.
pertaining to this.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did want to tell
Sorry.
you something after the show,
Okay.
um, but because it's unrelated, it's video game related.
Gotcha. Okay. I
Yeah,
just saw you texted me. I was like, all right, let me just bring it up just in case. I didn't know if you meant for the Broncos or for the Pete Carroll stuff or what.
no, 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 no. Yeah, there's only so much Raider like. All right, as horrible as like, all right, I could talk so much shit, to Raider fans, but nothing will make them feel worse than their own team does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more excited about the Sharks, the San Jose Sharks right now, by far, than the Raiders. So,
Yeah, but it was 10-7. It was a horrible game both ways. It was just
yep.
awful, awful
You know
football.
what? So sorry. One positive from this game, really for both teams, but for the Raiders, like all the Bo Nix struggles, you know, it felt a lot like it was on Bo Nix. Like he just looked like he was so uncomfortable in this game. I feel like there is some credit to be given to the Raiders defense. Like to hold the Broncos to 10 points, like they looked good out there. And I feel like there have been other games where the Raiders defense keeps them in it and gives them all the opportunity to like take the game away, but the Raiders offense can't do it, you know? And I mean, Carlson missed a field goal, I want to say, in this game, and they lose by 3. So, you know, it's just
Yeah.
little things like that.
Well, they do play the Broncos what next week? Like the week
I think
after
in
this next
two
game?
weeks, I want to say it's Cowboys, Browns, Broncos. I
Oh,
think.
okay. Yeah, I can almost guarantee this next Broncos game is going to be like 36-12. We're, I don't think it's going to play out the
Right.
same way.
Yeah.
But
Oh, sorry.
that's
It's Dallas, Cleveland, at Chargers, Denver.
oh, okay. Never mind. Well, still I still think the Broncos win that
Yeah, I agree.
upcoming one. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? We've done this before. We can move on to the next topic, and the start of that can be this, okay?
Okay.
We have Dallas, then Cleveland at Chargers. So Dallas at home, Monday Night Football.
Yep.
Cleveland at home. Chargers in LA, which a lot of Raider fans will be there. Denver at home. At Philly, at Houston, at home for the Giants, and then Kansas City at home to finish out the season. I see 2 games that feel particularly winnable, that
The
being Cleveland
Browns.
and the Giants.
Ooh, yeah, the
Yeah,
Giants
Browns.
now. I think
Yeah,
the
the
Raiders win
Giants.
both those games.
I think they win. I mean, that would be 4 wins, like Nick says,
Yep.
max. Um, I think they do get 4 wins. I don't know if it's exactly those games. Like I think they beat the Giants, but I hope they don't. And then I could see them
They're
winning
gonna
a
beat the
divisional game.
Giants. They're gonna beat the Giants.
Yeah. I think Cleveland is I don't care for Dylan Gabriel, but I think Cleveland's better than people think. Um I could see the Raiders beating I know this sounds stupid because of what we just said. I could see the Raiders beating the Chargers, Denver, or Kansas City. Do I think they're going to beat Kansas City any given week? No. But it's because it's the final week of the season. If they know their placement in the playoff, they could rest starters. And that would fuck us, you know? Um, I hope not, though. I hope it's like the Chiefs need to win to get the 5th seed, and they just beat our ass. But I think no matter, like, I guess the point is I see 4 wins, and I hope that that's like the third overall pick. That'd
You're
be great.
the you're the only fan that I know that like would not just want your team to lose, but you said I hope they beat our ass. I would want every game to be
I
super
want them to
duper close.
humble us.
I want it.
I mean, yeah,
I want it to be
okay.
super close,
I'm not
and
gonna
then
lie. It has been way more entertaining to watch that Jacksonville game where they went to overtime and just blew it on the last 2-point conversion. Which going for two in that scenario was a good choice. Like actually,
yeah, you don't kick a field goal there. You don't go for the
yeah.
tie. What? All right.
Uh,
It's a literally. I feel like that one. If you win the game, like good, you're supposed to win the game. You're
yeah,
supposed to play to win.
yeah,
Uh, I'd say if the Raiders were a playoff team, or like it was going to be close and they couldn't afford to lose that game, you go for the tie.
mm, right,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
if it's going to hurt you playoff seating wise and like you're not the strongest offense, which they're not, but like them going for two was the only choice for them, in my opinion, because there wouldn't have been more football to play.
hmm. um, yeah. I mean, the past 2 weeks, Jacksonville in that overtime thriller, really like shootout, pretty much. And then this week against Denver, where it was low scoring, but it was like they were in it the entire game. That is way more fun than getting our ass beat. Like, I agree with you. I'd much rather be in the games. But if, like, you come to that week 17 Giants matchup and it's like, just like last year when we faced the Jags, and it was like, we went into that game with the first overall pick, and then we beat the Jags and we went down to like 6 overall. Like, that was such a fucking heartbreaker from my perspective of wanting a quarterback, which it would have been Cam Ward, and I'm already kind of like, on him, you know? Like, I didn't
Yeah.
care for that last year's draft class like that for quarterback. But anyways, we're going to get to week 17. We're going to take on the Giants, and they're going to be like slotted in for the second pick, and it's going to be like, dude, yes, this is it. Just lose this game. And they're going to go out there and just kill the Giants. I'm going to be like, dude, are you kidding me? But yeah, I mean, if they could go every week and lose by 3, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But anyways, spoiler alert, we started with it, but I don't see the Raiders beating the Cowboys. I think I would love for a bit of a shootout. Me personally, because of fantasy implications, I love, the shootout to go in favor of Ashton Gianti. Uh, High scoring game, I'm hoping for, where the Cowboys pull it out in the end.
I'm just hoping for
Monday Night Mike.
I'm hoping for a 0-0 tie,
Yeah.
no yards. No,
How
but
crazy would that be? Has that ever happened?
what, a 0-0 tie?
Yeah. Has that ever happened? Probably not, right?
It almost did with the Vikings and the Raiders last year.
Yes.
3
Jeez.
nothing in overtime, right?
I think it was overtime. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
curious how many games have gone 0-0.
yeah, God. Awful
Yeah,
football.
I just hope that the Raiders lose by 3 every week. 0-3 every week. Just the worst games possible.
That's like it's like getting kicked in the nuts over and over.
Especially if you're rooting for them to win. Like, at least I was rooting for them to lose, so it's like I don't really care. But if you're rooting for your team to win and you're just watching this barn burning fucking 0-0 going into overtime, like, my mind would be gone.
Just like
You spaghetti
relentlessly
brain.
diehard. Like,
Yeah.
man, I don't give a fuck who's on the field right now. We gotta score. I don't
Yeah.
care. And then just over and over, like damn, we didn't score that drive. All right, next drive we're gonna score. And just, oh my god, you watch a 3-hour football game and no scores,
Yeah, it's
no field
terrible.
goals. Oh,
Yeah. No, that was an all-timer.
yeah, last night it was like the same thing. The Eagles and Packers were like, you know,
The Eagles got a
they
late score touchdown,
they were
right? It was like
not
3-3.
they were like not scoring at all. They were just punting it back and forth to each other. And then I think I was like, this game is awful. And then to be fair, I wasn't really watching it. Like I was like
Right.
halfway watching it because I was coding. Uh, and then I I'm just like, man, they haven't done anything. And then I text the group chat. I'm like, this game is awful. And Tyler's like, no, it's a defensive battle. This is real football. I'm like, Tyler, real football, real football's gone.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore. Real football died like 10 years ago. Or like, Mike, when was the last year that we got real football where people could hit?
Uh, that was probably. I mean, honestly, I just think of Patrick Willis and like Dante Whitner and stuff like that.
Patrick Willis, Ray Lewis, oh,
Yeah,
Deshaun Goldson, oh,
yeah. Them two
like
at safety was nasty. Goldson and Whitner. that would put fear in slot
Urlacher.
receivers.
When was the last time
Yeah.
we got that?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It was
maybe
before
around 20,
Super Bowl 50 for sure.
Yeah. So what's that, like 2014? Something like that? Or no, that was
Yeah.
2015. I want to say that
Yeah,
was 2015 because yeah,
yeah, 2015.
because the Raiders took on the Panthers the following year, and that was the 2016 season for the Raiders.
And it's so weird too
So
because
10 years. 10 years.
football changed all across the board. When I played in high school, the first 2 years we were taught to tackle through the guy. You want to go through him. You want to get your helmet, through their chest, and go through them. And then junior year, we saw a video. Funny enough, Pete Carroll is doing a demonstration on how they do their tackling in Seattle.
I
And
think I remember this.
yeah. And so you get your cheek and you put it against their butt cheek, you squeeze their legs, and then you do a crocodile roll. And that's literally why there's so many lower leg injuries in the NFL right now, and not as many concussions.
Thanks, Pete Carroll.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
No, it's not Pete Carroll's fault. It's like, just
because of an emphasis on less head-to-head contact.
yeah. And then now there's these Guardian caps, which there's no like evidence that suggests that they. Oh, we've talked about this. You can't stop concussions. You can't.
Right.
So, I've got the Cowboys winning this game, and please, for the love of God, let the Cowboys get a comfortable lead. Have them stop passing. Let Javonte Williams have like a 30-point fantasy game. So that way I can get people off my back in the group chat.
Yeah, you've got a lot. You can get a lot of good stuff out of this game, or a lot of terrible shit.
It won't. Honestly, it doesn't matter what Javonte does. If he has a great game, it's, all right. If Javonte has a great game, it's gonna be like, let's just say McCaffrey has like another week, like he had last week, and then Javonte like freaking erupts for 30. Like the group chat's just gonna be like, well, I guess Josh doesn't deserve Manager of the Year. Yeah, stupid move, Josh. You really sold Javonte. And then if he Javonte does shitty, they're gonna be like, bro said Javonte was worth CMC. Like it's a lose for me.
Right. Yeah,
but
man.
that like really, I predict that Dak he's gonna be able to torch this Raiders secondary. Javante's gonna be able to run right through.
Coming off a bye, no less.
If you're
I
a
just
Raider fan
hope the Raiders can run the ball,
and you care about them winning still this season, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you to not watch, but if it's gonna ruin your day, go watch something else.
Make plans for Monday.
Make plans for Monday and just. You know what? I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to come in here on Tuesday. Well, we might. Are we gonna do the pod Monday or Tuesday?
Depending on the time, we'll keep everybody posted.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
Probably Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because the Raiders are gonna finish at like 8 something. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll be fresh on the mind. We'll keep you guys posted. But if the Raiders somehow pull off this victory,
there will be hell to pay.
I will feel guilty for telling people that, don't watch this game. They're not going to win. And then what's funny? I'm surprised Pia's dad's not in the comments right now saying, I got money on the Raiders.
Yeah, I would say that's good for you.
Yeah. Uh, I finally witnessed Pia's dad losing a bet.
Nice.
Yeah, he put money on the Niners. One of the neighbors over at their house, they were driving by, and we there was all the Niners stuff out, and then he goes Rams by 12, right?
Oh
And then
wow.
yeah, he said Rams by 12, and then Pia's dad was like, "Oh, put a 12 pack on it," right? And he kept saying
Huh.
Rams by 12, right? And then yeah, I yelled out, I was like, "He's trying to make a bet right now with you," and then so he pulls over, he comes. I guess he already knew Pia's dad, like they'd
Okay.
spoken before. Funny enough, this guy. Uh, I have no reason to believe he's lying. He said he's good friends with Mark Davis, and he knows he said he's going to bring John Taylor to meet Pia's dad.
John Taylor?
Yeah, wide receiver for the 49ers during their Super Bowl era. And I guess
Wow.
he played football at the University of Washington. I mean, he seemed like a really cool guy. His name was George.
Hmm.
He was like, but he was propping up the Raiders. He's like, yeah, they were the first to do this, first to do this, first to do this, and yeah, he was like, you know, just it was like a Raider advertisement, but
Yeah.
yeah, they made a bet not for a 12 pack, but for $100.
Well, that was a terrible upsell.
Well,
Should have just
he was like I won't do a 12 pack, but I'll do $100, and Pia's dad's like, hell yeah, I'll do $100.
and the bet was not Niners will win, but instead less than 12 margin, or did he say Niners will win?
Well, I think Pia's dad would have won if just the Niners win. Uh,
Right.
but I told Pia's dad, I was like, yeah, you should tell him. He said by 12, not by 16.
Yeah. You never said over or under.
Yeah, no. But Mike, you could have made some money.
Yeah, I mean I
You
had
would
the
have put
Rams
money on
last
the
week, right?
Rams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could have
Yeah.
made a 12 pack of beer.
Yeah, I could have.
Pia's dad's waiting to make
Well,
bets with you, man.
yeah. When I feel more confident on something, maybe I will. But right now I just
Maybe Raiders Cowboys? Huh?
not yet, not yet, not yet.
See, all right, that's how you know the Raiders still have a chance. When Mike's not willing to bet.
The Cowboys defense is atrocious. So this could be one of those Geno Smith throws 3+ touchdown type of games.
Please do that. Please. But not
Well,
to
I mean, really,
Ashton.
I'm hoping for a shootout. I'm hoping for a shootout where Geno gets them right to the 1 yard line, every drive, and we just walk Gianti in there,
Mm-mm. I'm
And then
hoping.
the Cowboys come back and they're like, you know what? CeeDee Lamb, he's just not working.
I'm
Fade to George Pickens.
I'm rooting for the first ever 0-0 tie. I'm not gonna say first ever, but first that I've seen.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let
Yeah.
me look it up.
First in our
Has
lifetime.
there ever been a 0-0 tie in NFL history? Yes, there have been 73 games in NFL history that have ended in a 0-0 tie. The
Wow.
last one, I want you to guess what year, Mike.
I'm going to say 2003.
You're just a little off. November 7th, 1943.
Back in the good old days where Jesus.
Between the
Yeah.
Detroit Lions and the New York Giants. Since that game,
Wow.
there have been no 0-0 ties.
Yeah, that checks out. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not even Super Bowl era.
There's
That's crazy.
there's notes here. On the AI overview, it says the final 0-0 tie occurred during World War II when when many players were overseas, leading to weakened rosters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Poor field conditions due to rain also contributed to the low-scoring game. In that game, the Giants and Lions combined for just 214 total yards.
Wow.
That
I mean,
is
imagine going to
horrible.
that fucking game.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
spent $6 on this ticket.
no, $6 would be too much at
Probably.
that time.
I spent $1 on this?
I spent a
Good
dime.
God. Yeah.
I want my dime back.
Yeah. Oh,
Zero.
that's great.
It says 0-0 ties were more common before the 1940s when the single wing offense was more dominant, and before a 1974 rule change that extended overtime into the regular season. So there was no overtime.
Oh, that makes sense. Yep.
Yep.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I
I'm
will
sorry,
say-
that was just hella funny to read. Yeah. The last time it happened was during World War II.
I think it was in 2003. Close. Adolf Hitler was alive.
Yeah. Close. Close. America was fighting the Nazis,
Yeah.
not becoming them.
Oh, man. All right. Well, it is 11 o'clock, and I need to get situated for work tomorrow.
All right. Well, I think that was a great show. It's been a while since
It
we've
was.
had like a real tangent led show.
Hell
That
yeah.
was pretty good. Like a
was
genuine conversation show was great. I want to thank Nick Samirikov. I think I did good with the pronunciation. Nick Samirikov.
Yeah.
Uncle Bill's Chill Room. I want to thank you too, and Lord Unfancy. Subscribe to his channel as well. He's a good friend. But yeah, guys, that's all we have. We were all over the place today, but you guys bared with us. If you're watching this not live, we appreciate you tuning in. If you comment, we'll reply to it as soon as we get the chance. As soon as it comes on our radar, we do reply to comments that you guys leave for us. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Mike, you got any last words before we get out of here and before it inevitably gets cut off and nobody ever hears it?
Yeah. I got nothing.